Hi, this is Andrew from Aspergers Central, and in this video I'm going to look at where Aspergers Syndrome fits within the autism spectrum. In 1994, the diagnosis of Aspergers Syndrome, which is named after the Austrian pediatrician Hans Asperger, was added into the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders 4th edition, or DSM-4. In May 2013, 19 years later, the DSM-5 was published, and with that a distinct change was made. Asperger's Syndrome had been removed and relabeled under the Autism Spectrum Disorder banner. To help unify ASD, they divided it into 3 levels. Level 3 of ASD is for those individuals that are requiring very substantial support. Level 2 of ASD is for those individuals that are requiring substantial support. And Level 1 of ASD, where Asperger's has now made its home, is for those individuals that are requiring support. So technically the new name for Asperger's since May of 2013, a little over 2 years ago now, is Autism Spectrum Disorder Level 1 Requiring Support, or the shorter title of High Functioning Autism. Current statistics have 1 in every 88 people on the autism spectrum and 1 in every 500 people qualifying on the Level 1 or Asperger's side of the spectrum. On a side note, not only was it psychiatrist Lorna Wing who was the one who gave Asperger's Syndrome the name after Hans Asperger, she was also the one to initially place Asperger's within the autism spectrum, even though Hans himself had shared his discomfort at generalizing Asperger's as part of the autism spectrum. Now the question asked is, why do some people keep calling it Asperger's Syndrome if the DSM's changed the label? Here's my take on it. Over 20 years, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people were diagnosed with Asperger's Syndrome, a unique explanation of something that explains social awkwardness, trials and tribulations of everyday life. For a lot of people it made sense. Now in 2013, when the powers that be decided to change that diagnosis, they coupled it within a spectrum that is often not associated with high functioning by the general public. Now let's face it, when average Joe hears autism, he starts to think classic autism. Now, to retain the uniqueness of Asperger's, much like any close-knit community, the large majority of people continue to refer to their condition as Asperger's Syndrome, some even going out of their way to distinguish themselves as Aspies instead of Auties. Anyone out there saying anything like, there's no such thing as Asperger's, or Asperger's is a dead or dying term, really doesn't understand the subculture that is Asperger's Syndrome. Back in 2014, Professor Tony Attwood, who's considered to be a guru within the Asperger support circle, said to me, I prefer the 2-word name of Asperger Syndrome instead of the longer name of Autism Spectrum Disorder Level 1 without language or intellectual support. And he had a pretty good point. 2 words is much easier than 9 words. And it's because of the support of understanding professionals and the allegiance of Aspies that the term Asperger's Syndrome will continue to be used for a very long time into the future. Now, if you've got any questions about Asperger's Syndrome or the Autism Spectrum Disorder, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/Aspergers Central, or go and hit up our website at aspergerscentral.com. This is Andrew from Aspergers Central. Thanks for listening and have a great day.